Polytheistic reconstructionism is an approach to paganism first emerging in the late 1960s to early 1970s, and gathered momentum starting in the 1990s. Reconstructionism attempts to re-establish historical polytheistic religions in the modern world, in contrast with neopagan syncretic movements like Wicca, and channeled movements like Germanic mysticism or Theosophy. While the emphasis on historical accuracy may imply historical reenactment, the desire for continuity in ritual traditions is a common characteristic of religion in general, as seen in Anglican ritualism, or in much Christian liturgy. History. D.H. Lawrence put a sketch of a fictional program into the mouth of a character in The Plumed Serpent. So if I want Mexicans to learn the name of Calcotl, it is because I want them to speak with the tongues of their own blood. I wish the Teutonic world would once more think in terms of Thor and Wotan and the tree Yggdrasil, and I wish the Druidic world would see honestly that in the mistletoe is the mystery, and that they themselves of the Tuatha De Danann alive, but submerged, and a new Hermes should come back to the Mediterranean, and a new Ashtar to Tunis, and Mithras again to Persia, and Brahma unbroken to India, and the oldest of dragons to China. The term Reconstructionist paganism was likely coined by Isaac Bonewits in the late 1970s. Bonewits has said that he is not sure whether he got this use of the term from one or more of the other culturally focused neopagan movements of the time, or if just applied it in a novel fashion. Gonda Attila later used the term pagan reconstructionists in the 1979 edition of Drawing Down the Moon to refer to those who claimed to adhere to some sort of historical religion. This emphasis on reconstruction is in ostensible contrast to more fanciful approaches to paganism in Romanticism, is seen for example in Germanic mysticism. Reconstructionism and neopaganism. Lindsay enumerates the difference between modern reconstructionist polytheism, with classical paganism as found in 18th to mid-20th century movements. Aspects of the former, not found in the latter, are as follows. There is no attempt to recreate a combined pan-European paganism. Researchers attempt to stay within research guidelines developed over the course of the past century for handling documentation generated in the time periods that they are studying. A multidisciplinary approach is utilized, capitalizing on results from various fields as historical literary research, anthropology, religious history, political history, archaeology, forensic anthropology, historical sociology, etc., with an overt attempt to avoid pseudosciences. There are serious attempts to recreate culture, politics, science and art of the period in order to better understand the environment within which the religious beliefs were practiced. The use of the terms pagan and neopagan to apply to polytheistic reconstructionists is controversial. Some reconstructionist, ethnic and indigenous religious groups take great issue with being referred to as pagan or neopagan, viewing pagan as a pejorative term used in the past by institutions attempting to destroy the cultures and religions. In addition, reconstructionists may choose to reject the terms pagan and neopagan in order to distance themselves from aspects of popular neopaganism, such as eclecticism, cultural appropriation, the practice of magic, and a tendency to conduct rituals within a Wiccan-derived format that they find irrelevant or even inimical to the religious practice. Even among those reconstructionist groups who see themselves as part of the broader pagan and neopagan spectrum, or who simply see some members of the pagan community as allies, there is still a refusal to accept or identify with what they see as the more problematic aspects of the community, such as the above-noted eclecticism, cultural appropriation, or Wiccan-inspired ritual structures. Many polytheistic reconstructionists see reconstructionism as the older current in the pagan community, and are unwilling to give up this part of the history simply because eclectic movements are currently more fashionable. Religions encompassed: Armenian, Hellenism; Baltic neopaganism; Canarian, Church of the Guanche people; Caucasian neopaganism; Celtic neopaganism; Egyptian, Kemetism; Germanic heathenism; Greek, Hellenismos; Hungarian neopaganism; Italo-Roman tradition; Romanian, Zalmoxianism; Semitic neopaganism; Slavic, Rodnovery; Uralic neopaganism;